It is time for winter season, but that doesn't stop us holiday reps from actually working, because there's so many places that you can go in the winter time that is truly amazing. What are the places that you want to visit maybe? Or have you already gotten your winter placement? Congratulations. But if you haven't done it already and you want to have help to prepare and also to apply for a winter destination, then this is the episode to listen to. So how do you actually prepare for the winter season? And this is a good question for many of you, and I'm gonna go through them a little bit of a step by step. So what are you looking for? There is like different types. So if you want to do like a long haul, which is like 8-month long or longer time periods, then you can have like a long haul, and these are popular in, for example, Mexico, maybe Gran Canaria or Thailand, for example. There is a few other ones, but these are the ones that I know very well about, and they are usually a long haul of around 8 months. Then you can also have like a shorter season, which is like a normal season, and you can have like something that is even shorter, maybe of even 5 weeks if you want to go to, for example, Finland and go to visit the Santa Claus up there and having like a holiday land full of like adventure with like Christmas stuff. And that is roughly 5 weeks. But you can also have like a normal 6-month season in some of these places. And I think it's Cape Verde and stuff like that, like Iceland. And then you have the ski resorts, which is usually in Italy or France, to just name a few. These are some places that have really good winter destinations, but they're not that long. Okay? So if we're talking about these different places that I just mentioned, is to prepare you, is it better for you to have a warm destination? Or do you want to be placed on like a colder destination? Because some of these are like freezing cold, and some of these are like extremely hot destinations. So it's different what you want. And yeah, actually, if you go to the Canary Islands, you have a good mix, because it's not super hot. It's just perfect in my opinion. Because I don't like when it's absolutely too hot, but I still like the destinations that are too hot. Does it make sense? Yeah. After you've chosen if you want like a hot or a cold destination, then it actually is time to check with the documentations that you will have for these different destinations. So for example, if you would go to a place, let's see, for example, Thailand, then you would probably need, I know that you need, especially you need a visa. And that one is going to be a process to get through. And after you get through the process of a visa, then you will have to, for example, apply for an international driver's license if you are going to drive there. Then you're going to need a few other documentations. You're going to need some pictures of yourself, because they're going to put that on a paper note that they will use when you arrive, for example. It's pretty cool. They will take a photo of you, and then they will put you through Photoshop and put you into a suit. So it's pretty cool. And I don't know if this is just a Thai thing that you need to have like a suit on, for the visa. But it's pretty cool. Just a fun fact. And other places actually also need visas, but does not mean that it should discourage you in any sense, because these places are truly amazing even if you need a visa process. And I'm pretty sure that you need the visas also for Mexico when you're going there. So I have a few friends that's been in Mexico, and they absolutely love it. And it's been really cool to follow their journey while working there. And me, myself, I've been to Thailand. So that is like a winter season for me that I can truly recommend, even if the process is really hefty. It is something that you definitely need to visit. For me, for example, if we just a short story, when I was on my season the year before, I didn't have my documentations ready really. So I had to go home because I didn't have time to renew my now then passport. And also I needed to get the international driver's license. So I had to be home for like in 2 weeks and try and fix all these documentations in the middle of the pandemic to try and get everything sorted so I can go to my destination because it's already late. I realized that to get the international driver's license, I needed to go through some special systems in Sweden that they will offer you to get the international driver's license. And I figured out this is just people working from home doing this. So there was this old man I contacted, and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I need help to get my international driver's license like really quickly." And he's like, "Yeah, you need to post it and stuff like that." And I'd already done my research, and I was like, "Well, I see you live very close to my city. Can I just not come there and just give it to you in hand because this is like really urgent?" And he's like, "Not really." And then eventually we come to an agreement that I can come over. And it was this really old man. It was super cool that to know that it was someone taking care of my papers. And he literally went through this process so fast. So the day after, basically, he calls me and like, "Yeah, it's done now and you can pick it up." I'm like, "Oh, wow, thank you so much." And there was actually supposed to have extra cost for the express delivery of this, but he didn't charge me for that. And I think it's because we had a really good chat when we actually when I actually came over there to visit. It was super fun. And then the process with the passport actually is that it usually takes a lot of time to get your passports ready in Sweden. Like the waiting time is, I think it's around 1 to 3 months sometimes to get your new passport. And I just had an eye open every day to see open spots to get your passport. And I find one, and it was like 1 week after I get home. So I was still in destination when I did apply. And I get one like straight away when I get home, which was super cool and convenient. So I didn't have to wait 3 months because that would mean that I could not go to my destination. So I was like extremely happy. The process went super fast, and I'm very sorry for you guys that has to wait several months for your passports. So if we just dive straight into what destinations are popular now when we are into the subject of the different winter season options. So as I've said before, I'm just going to mention a few of them, just a quick, maybe something about them. So the first one I get in top of my mind here is Mexico. Mexico is a really cool place. It has lots of variety. I know many people are scared of getting Mexico or applying for it, but like usually you are in a section in Mexico where it's like extremely touristic. So it's nothing like bad or anything like that. It's a really, really cool place. And then we actually have Thailand, which is my favorite. And Thailand is just truly amazing. It's so big, like Mexico though. But in my opinion, it's like so beautiful. And there you can do so many boat excursions and trips, and like it's just so cool. And it's like everything is like small islands. I don't know what to say. It's just truly amazing when you going around with a boat between all these islands. You feel like a 007 movie, especially when you're visiting James Bond Island, for example. It's super, super cool. And Thailand, we have several destinations there, I would say, for many companies. And those companies like offer like Krabi. I think it's Phuket, definitely. Then you have also the other one I cannot remember right now for some reason. So you have at least 4 different places that you can go to. Oh, Khao Lak it's called. Thank you, Kevin. brain is working. So these places is super cool to get as destinations, and you can do many different roles in all of these places. Then, for example, you also have Canary Islands, and the most popular ones for winter would probably be Lanzarote and Gran Canaria. These two places are like super like popular, especially for UKs and Nordics. So if you're from some of these countries, then you're gonna have a really good time here because there's so many people that speaks your native language, for example. And also the bars and restaurants, if that's important for you to have when you're working, that there's a lot of like British bars and Irish bars, and there is a lot of Swedish restaurants and bars and Danish ones, like everything. It's like we have put so many standards of Nordic and UK there that we have taken over, basically. And that is for both of these places. It's a really cool place to apply for winter. Then if you want to go to Cape Verde, for example, it's also a really good and popular place to go. And I've heard loads of mixed things about Cape Verde, that it's really good destination. Though if you are working, for example, airport and stuff, you can have a little bit more of a stressful season, but it's absolutely still worth it because the destination itself gives so much. And some quick mentions of places I just know about, but I have no experience myself. And those are, for example, Jamaica. That is many places and companies that have like destinations here for the winter. And then you also have Iceland, which would be truly cool for me, I'd say, to visit, but I have not gotten the chance to go there yet. But it's a super cool destination because have you seen the nature in Iceland? Like, it's so beautiful with all the mountains and the hot lakes, hot pools? Yeah, things like that. It's like really cool. And also Lord of the Rings has also been here in part of it with New Zealand, which is definitely another place, but still super cool. Then we have Italy and France, for example, for you guys that wants to ski. This is just two of the places, but there is so many other places that you can visit also. But these are like the most popular ones, I would say. So if we dive into how to apply for a winter season, that is a very good question, actually. And there is something that is gonna help you how to go through the process just a little bit, like a tips. And I'm gonna bring up two companies that I know about that is really good. So you're gonna have a great time if you're working for any of these companies. So just hear me out. The first thing though to note is actually experience. So one of the companies you're gonna have to have a little bit more experience, or you at least you need to have been standing on skis before. Okay? So if you haven't, then it can be very hard to get your application through or at least get the job. The other one is like you don't really need so much experience because you're gonna get trained a little bit more on the place. So if you are not experienced guide, or you haven't been holiday rep, or you haven't standing on skis before, then it can be a good idea to go to the other companies. So to name these two companies is, for example, Crystal Ski is the one that you don't really need much experience. It's, for example, TUI that has the Crystal Ski, what is it called, holiday packages. So they belong to there. Then we also have more of a Nordic company. So it's for all of you Nordics out there. And that one you can apply if you have some more experience. So if you have experience of standing on ski, being a guide before or anything, maybe have done a guide school education, then you're all set to go to Ski Networks. it's like 3 different companies that have merged together to bring like the biggest company in ski, for example. So it's a really cool thing. I know they're working with a lot of brands and they are just growing steadily, and it's really cool to see. And I know many people that has gone with ski networks for winter just to get a really cool experience on ski. That's that. And I will actually link down below also the links to these 2 different companies. If you want to apply, I will then put their applications down below, or at least where to find how to apply. So you can do that. I just want to help you guys out to come out for winter season if that is something that interests you. So also maybe be aware that if you are applying, you can have some extra cost, especially if it is a winter season. In summer season, you usually have everything, and all the gear you also get with the company. Like, of course, you will get your uniform and the necessary stuff usually, or basically always. But some extra cost that comes in the winter is, for example, that you want to have warm clothes or some extra clothes. That is stuff that you will need when you're doing winter season. And that is very important to remember, because you don't want to freeze to death basically when you're in your winter season, and if it's ski. So this is just applying for ski, the extra costs, because other places where you go, sometimes the companies will pay or at least give you back some or the full amount of the applications that is required for going to those destinations, just so you know. So it's mostly just for ski destinations. There you will have to get like shoes for when you're off on your own adventures, and other ski stuff for when you're not working, because obviously you will get clothes by the company when you're at work, but when you're off, you don't want to freeze. You don't want to be in your own uniform all day. So of course that's going to be an extra cost for you to buy some extra warm clothes. To recap everything that we've been talking about today, we have been talking about how to prepare for a winter season and the different ways to do. And then also we went through a few destinations that you could visit, and there's obviously so many more that you can visit, but this is just to mention a few. And then also we have lastly that we just went through was how to apply for winter season. And it's super easy. Just go in on their website or find another company that you already know about and just put in your applications. And I would like to ask you to join our Facebook community, which is at Ultimate Tour Guide. So join our Facebook community, because we're growing every week, and it's super cool to see so many like current guides and so many guides to be that are joining our little community that we have there. And it's super cool that we can have a chat together in the comments, and we can also see what episodes are gonna come next. Further on that, I would like to thank you very much for listening to today's episode, and I hope you get excited for next week, because then it's gonna be a really cool episode that I cannot really talk about more right now, but I think you're gonna be very excited when it comes out. So until that, guys, thank you very much, and see you next week. And remember to always stay curious. Goodbye.